Like Jay-Z, I'm out for presidents to represent me. Happy President's Day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Today in AZ After Show. What's up, Producer Jeff, Director Craig? Making sure everything stays on track this morning, and the three of us are doing our best to circumvent them. Paul Gerke, Vanessa Ramirez, James Quinones. How you guys feeling on a Monday?
Good. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little tired. You know,
Yeah.
wait, let me just ask you guys this question. You know,
Hit
we don't
us.
get that much sleep,
Yeah.
right? However, when you try to get more sleep, do you realize that you wake up more groggy the next day?
Yes, there's like a limit. I think there's like an upper bound threshold. But I struggle on Sundays anyway. Like I try to get to bed early. I try to adapt my schedule to allow myself to sleep before a Monday, and I'm always tired anyway.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm like, okay, I got an extra hour of sleep, and I'm tired.
You've been doing this longer than we have. You got a smile on your face.
Just automatic.
Yeah?
It's really not bad. You know what? I don't know. I don't. Late shows are great because you get to sleep in, but I don't know. It just destroys your day. I do remember waking up, you get lots of sleep, you run one errand, and you got to start getting ready for work.
Yeah.
That whole shift. You don't get home till 10:30. You got to take quick dinners. I feel like we're done after 12 o'clock. We're kind of free to do stuff. We can nap. So if you're disciplined and organized, morning shows are kind of cool. I don't need a lot of sleep. I really don't.
Really?
6-7 hours is good. Any more than that, I'm like you.
Yeah.
I wake up punch drunk all
Yeah.
day long. My vision's all blurry and stuff like that. So
I mean, I'm trying to get 6 hours of sleep.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
6 is good.
Oh,
6
yeah.
is
If you can
good.
get it.
And I find when I don't drink, I sleep amazingly. I dream everything. Yeah, when I have like a cocktail before I go to bed or something like that, puts me to sleep quick.
Right.
But then I wake
You
up about
stay
4
asleep.
hours later, that stuff turns into sugar. and I'm
Right?
just, like, wide
Exactly.
awake.
'Cause
Wine especially.
Yeah, a lot of people like to drink wine before they go to bed because they feel like it relaxes them.
It's the worst.
That's a very natural segue to what we're talking about today
Really?
on the after show.
No
Yeah.
way.
It's as if they knew. Today's National Drink Wine Day. Congratulations, guys. If you've got the day off, I hope you're at home celebrating.
This early in the morning?
Yeah, a little champagne and orange juice to start
Okay,
your morning, right?
mimosa?
Mimosa's okay. I don't know if that is quantified as wine in any way, so maybe I'm fudging it just a
Sparkling
little
wine.
bit. We want to know if you can tell the difference between boxed wine or bottled wine. Very simply, do you have a fine palate when it comes to alcohol in general? Get in the comment section and say hello. Dylan's off to a great start on a Monday morning. You all are a joke of a news station.
Oh, good.
Hope your day gets
you.
better, my friend.
We do try to crack jokes here,
I
which
try
is
to be
awesome.
funny.
And I take that as a compliment.
Some days better than others.
Wait, a lot of people said absolutely. Cindy said absolutely.
Yolanda
You can
as
tell.
well, yeah.
Yep, Yolanda said absolutely. That you can tell the difference. I wonder though if you gave it to them like and didn't let them know
Like a
that this
blind
came
test, yeah.
from the box, and if that you just why are we showing Pringles?
Oh, I don't know.
Because
but-
could you
Is
tell
that
the
what you
difference?
eat?
Can you tell the difference between real Pringles and generic Pringles? That's what I want to know. That's also a good
No,
question.
it's like after you had a whole box of wine,
Pringles
you go
with
grab the
wine.
Pringles.
You want some Pringles? Yes, absolutely. We were just talking about tuna fish a little bit off camera. And I haven't had a tuna fish sandwich in probably 5 years, but I want one bad this morning.
Heck yeah, I'll
Well,
take
you have
one.
some tuna upstairs.
I know. Oh, yeah, we do. It's just not what I want.
Le Grand L'Orange, they have a really good tuna fish.
Do they?
sandwich. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? LGO?
Not
Is it
bad.
fancy though? Because I kind of want like
You ever been to
mom's.
LGO?
No, I
It's
haven't.
a big, thick one with cheese on it.
I want cheese.
Yeah, they got cheese on that, toasted. Oh, it's good. I think they
sound good.
butter the toast, too.
They have great food. You need to go like check it out. One
All right,
time.
I'll go
It's a
check it out.
scene, too.
Yeah.
The scene
you can
you
even
love.
have wine there. They have wine.
Wine and tuna fish. Sounds like this Monday's off to
You
a
go
great
pull a
start.
bottle off the shelf. You drink
No
the whole
kidding.
bottle there. Yeah.
You know what I do love? Speaking of wine, since it is National Drink Wine Day, you know how Postino's, in case you don't know, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I believe like at 9 o'clock, you get a bottle of wine with a board.
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for us.
I'm gonna say we gotta rush out the door.
And Sundays
For
and
like
Mondays,
20 bucks or
there's a
something
lot
like
of
that.
places
Yeah.
that do that now.
Yeah.
They do that. The
Tell
Vig,
us. Come on,
the
Europe guy.
Vig, the Vig has. You'll like this.
Yeah?
burger?
Half price bottle of wine
Ooh.
On Sundays.
on Sunday.
Yes, on
Okay.
Sundays.
You show up there at the right time, and there's people with everyone has a bottle of wine. And say, "Hey, Paul, get over here." I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
let's get him a glass." Everyone's just passing.
So
the
half
wine.
price means only twice what it costs retail, right?
I guess, but I mean, you can get bottles
For like 12 bucks.
10 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. You get
So
their-
closer to the sticker
I
price
get the
anyway.
cheaper stuff.
Sure.
You know? And I'm like, hey, okay, 10 bucks. That's not bad. You're tipping 10 bucks. Everybody's happy.
I
That's
thought
so
you were going to
true.
tell us about tapas. I thought that's where you were going there.
No,
Do you want to, though, now that we've brought it up?
no, go right ahead. Yeah.
In Europe, they do tapas.
Oh, tapas.
Tapas.
I had a
I've never
European
been.
story, but I just forgot. I don't know what I was
Sorry,
gonna
I just
say.
drove it out of your
Just
mind.
drove it out of my mind. Yeah, that's what you did.
So Jim is sharing some tips for us about sleeping, since that's what we first started on. He said the best sleep is when you go to bed at the same time each night and wake up at the same time each morning. It's when your schedule is changed that the lack of sleep is an issue.
Now, what world are you living in, Jim?
That you can go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time.
I like Dan's response. He was the first comment to weigh in on this whole thing. The question, can you tell the difference between boxed and bottled wine? And Dan says, if it's free, no.
Nope, not at all.
I'm that way too, Dan. When somebody asks me, hey, what kind of ice cream do you like? Or what kind of pizza do you? Well, free. If it's around and I don't have to pay for it, it's good in my book.
So we got to say good morning to Marie, to Guillermo, to Paul. All these people are saying good morning. Thank you for tuning in with us. Do you guys have the day off today? How many of you have the day off today for President's Day?
It's
I know
not a
a
holiday for
handful
us
of
now.
people, but my friends that I was with yesterday and my cousins, like, they all had to work today. So it wasn't a holiday for them.
Holiday-ish.
Ish, yeah.
All right, we'll get back to the wine discussion in just a minute. In the meantime, how about some ICYMI? And in case you missed a moment from earlier this morning on Today in AZ, usually I collaborate with producer Jeff beforehand to determine what this is going to be. I didn't do my job this morning, so this is going to be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you.
Okay. 60% of us have this in our car but don't use it. I know we received quite a few text messages.
We received so many different guesses. A lot of people are on the CD player train. I had a CD stuck in mine for a long time that made it unusable.
Oh, a map.
A map.
Oh, yeah, like an
A
atlas.
squeegee from Rick and Scott, so that's a good guess.
Turn signals. I love it. We always get that one guy that wants to rag on other drivers for not
Ice
using
scraper.
it. Oh, I like that.
I could have used one of those. I just pulled my car over a few weeks ago and used my credit card because my windshield was iced up here in Phoenix.
Yeah. My cousin was just talking about that. He said the other day when it was so cold.
It is a CD player. We had one person guess that, right?
At least one.
Yeah, at least.
Do cars still come with them? Like the newer cars?
Stock
I can't
models?
recall.
I don't think.
I don't think so.
But they did for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
I don't like my voice. Just thinking out loud.
Well, I was laughing because I got cut off by telling my cousin's story, and we're like, the answer came up. It's a CD player.
What was your cousin's story? Tell the story now.
No, it was Jimmy was saying he had ice on his car the other day, and my cousin said the same thing, that it was so cold last week, one of the days, that he said he was running late for work, right, typical for most people, and that he got into his truck and it was all covered in ice. So he's like trying to turn the heater on so it
We don't know
defrost.
here because what's that button for? With
Right,
the little
the
waves on
defrost
it?
Yes, he was
And the
trying to
wave
do
in the
that.
back? What's
So he
that?
didn't have time to get it off. He tried the windshield wipers. He said he had like this much of area to
That's
look
so
through.
dangerous. Don't
Yeah, and
do
he
it.
said he was so scared, but he was running late for work.
Credit card. Use a credit card. That's
do
what I
that.
scraped that thing off.
But isn't that weird? We rarely have to even think about that problem here in AZ.
Yeah. No, not really.
In
but
Phoenix, anyway.
We're going to have it again coming up this week with more cold weather.
No, you were saying it's going
It's
to be
El Nino,
cold.
man. They're just putting more moisture, and sometimes El Nino's a bust, but this is good stuff for us. Snow on the hike. It feels more like where Paul comes from. 8 Mile, right?
Yeah, somewhere like that, 8 Mile. You guys need any winter weather tips? You give me a shout. I'll get you through this. Winter weather driving is not as perilous as people make it out to be. Like, it's just
Just go slow.
it's about being a safe driver.
That's it. That's
It's
all
about
there is
being
to
a
it.
conservative driver
Yes.
that makes conservative decisions. That's it. You don't have to go 5 miles an hour to work, but you also shouldn't be whipping around without your turn signal on. Just saying.
Yeah.
And definitely scrape your windows and defrost before you drive somewhere. Give it 15 minutes.
If
Put
you're
defrost
running
on
late,
full blast.
what do you think? Like, if you're like, I'm late.
Well, if you're
or...
dead, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, that's true.
When I was
Good advice
when I
to
was
my
a kid,
cousin. I hope
used
he's
to remember the
watching.
cars sitting in the driveways.
Yeah.
Warming up.
Well,
People
now
go
you can
out
buy
there.
cars that you can turn them on before you even go outside.
Yeah,
That's
you have to
nice.
go- or they used to pay. I used to get paid. Like, they'd pay me 50 cents to run out. A brother to warm up his
Really?
car for him. I thought it was so cool.
Right.
In 3rd grade, and I starting up this car.
Yeah, and until you
just sit
accidentally
there.
take off driving in
That
it.
didn't happen, but
Good.
but it was kind of cool. It was a good memory. Then he'd throw me out of the car. So
Get out of here,
50
Jimmy.
cents, huh?
yeah, and
What
I'm
would you
talking about
buy
5 o'clock in the morning.
with that
If
money?
back then 50 cents, you could get a bike or a TV set, or down payment on a house,
Stop.
some land, 2 bits.
Our buddy Jim with the sleep tip says he's been working in a mattress store for over 13 years and focuses on getting people the best sleep.
Okay.
Jim, today's a busy day for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Oh,
a real
yeah, the
holiday for
sales,
you
you
on
said.
President's Day.
President's
Yeah.
Day sales.
It's a day to cop a mattress if you need one. I like Dawn's point, talking about the wine one more time. She says you could definitely tell the next day.
Oh, yes, the hangover.
Cheap wine hangover? Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. People even say that about other types of alcohol, like that good tequila. Remember we had the tequila goddess on during the Phoenix Open week, and she gave us all the 411 on like how you graduate from taking shots of tequila, like of Don Julio Patron, to the higher end tequilas
Sure.
that you sip. And she said those ones you will not have a hangover at all.
I can tell the difference with good tequila. I really can. I've done it before. When I grew up, Cuervo Gold or whatever, and that stuff's, great for mixing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the really good stuff, you can sip it. It's kind of interesting, and I don't know. Yeah, so I can tell the difference with tequila. I can't with bourbons. I can't tell the difference between Old Grandad or Old Crow and the best stuff that they have. They have this new stuff out. It's called Johnny Walker Blue. And it's like $300 for the bottle. And somebody gave me a taste of that the other day. I couldn't tell the difference.
Really? It tastes the same?
Yeah. And I do know people that are big whiskey connoisseurs that can't tell the difference.
So there are a lot of local places to do like bourbon and whiskey tastings.
Big
and
now.
I've done a couple bourbon ones, and I'm kind of with you on that. Here's the rub. So part of any bourbon tasting, they have you go through a series of exercises before you begin to cleanse your palate and to prepare your taste buds for what you're about to imbibe. I will say that as painful as those exercises are, they do make a difference. One of the things you're supposed to do is make sure you smell it a whole bunch of times, burn your nose with that alcohol, and then the first sip you take, hold it in your mouth for 30 seconds. Hold it.
Okay.
Let it burn your tongue. Like, you're going to feel it. It's going to be unpleasant. But then after that, your tongue is more receptive to, like, the subtleties and the flavors. And from that point onward, I would say there is a difference between the expensive stuff and the bottom shelf swill I'm used to drinking.
I never knew that.
So there you go. Yeah, but you should do one of them. They do a whole bunch out here at like the resorts and stuff like that. They're relatively cheap.
One trend I'd like to get into, push around here to the young kids, is Americans. I've been other places, and in America we shoot everything. Everything's a shot.
Yeah.
Like, let me get a shot. When you go to Europe, I buy you a shot of something.
They sip it.
For like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They do the cheers. And they all sit there and have conversations with a little shot the way it should be. Americans are just like, it could be the best stuff or the worst stuff. Oh!
Yeah.
Salud!
So the stuff that's on the higher end, you should not take a shot of. You're definitely sipping it for
enjoy
sure.
it. Jiminy Crickets. Even what's that? Jägermeister. I mean, sip the stuff.
Ew, you don't sip Jaeger.
See, there you go.
That's
These
not the
young
higher
kids.
end stuff anyway, Jimmy.
These young children.
Sipping Jaeger.
Just saying.
But and then with wine, okay, so what's your guys' go-to wine? Do you like a Cab, a Chardonnay?
When it comes to wine, I can't tell
Merlot.
the difference. All I know about wine is I'm an emotional wine drinker. You put a couple
Really?
glasses of wine in me, I might cry. I might cry.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
You know, wine just makes me tired. So it's like I would only be able to drink it at home or like, for dinner, but like not if I'm trying to. I know some people can drink it to like for a pregame before they're going out somewhere. I'm like, there's no way can I drink
Jimmy's
wine.
like, you're talking about sipping Jaeger. She's over here talking about pre-gaming.
We're gonna go see the Bears play the Cardinals. That's some shots of wine. Oh, where's pregame?
People do. They're like, we love our glass of wine. I'm like, okay.
I just got back from Napa, which was pretty awesome. Trying the wine there, and I did get a bottle. I've never paid, it's about $100. I never paid that much for it. It was that good. We have it at home in a very special place. It's sitting in a dark, cool place. And what we're going to do is we're going to wait for we're going to make a date to drink that bottle of wine. It's going to be just an
appointment
with special cheese and crackers.
Yes.
It's going to be me and my wife, and we're going to do that. But I did hear there's a little trick out there that some of the wineries do.
What?
And I'm not going to call it any of them. They add sugar. A little sugar to the wine, so there's a little sweetness to it, so it tastes good to you. So, for people that don't know wines like me, I'm like, oh, this is great.
Sure.
There's a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
So, but I like wine, but I don't. Same thing with whiskey. I don't know the difference between an $80 bottle of wine and.
Really?
But this one that I had in Napa, I just loved it. It was a great romantic memory. We were hanging out there. It was a dark cellar. I said, give me that bottle. I took it back. I took it back unopened. So we're gonna.
So and remember, obviously, to drink responsibly. If you're starting to drink at 9 in the morning or whatever time it is, you're going to start drinking today. If you have the day off, don't drink.
We should talk about rules for drinking.
Rules for drinking?
Yeah.
I like Jim's attitude about this whole thing, by the way. When we were diverting the topic for a brief second there, he's like, can we please talk about wine? And then he goes, I think you guys should do a morning show with each of you taking shots of Jaeger. We'd have to keep it on the internet like this show because it's definitely not a news show, but it would be a lot of fun.
It's called the Today Show.
Yeah, right?
Dorothy said she can't tell the difference. However, I would not take to a party.
And that's kind of what Raymond was saying a little further up in the comments section. He says, tastes the same to me, just looks weird when you bring a box of wine to a party. It's like you're moving in.
Yeah.
Hey, Google wine. I'm the big buzzkill, by the way, I always hear. Google wine and Roundup. It's going to scare the heck out of you.
Well, it sounds like a bad combination.
Apparently, they
like we
use
shouldn't be
Roundup
drinking wine.
a lot with all of our agricultural stuff, including a lot of the wine. So apparently, some people say, allegedly, that there's traces of Roundup in all the wine, American wines. So
that would explain the hangover.
Just Google it. I'll let you decide. That's just what I've heard.
So obviously,
saying that.
someone left a comment saying that we're getting paid to talk about this. Obviously, we're not, because he's just trying to tell you not to drink wine because it has a Roundup
Yeah, I'm
in
just
it.
saying, it freaked me out because
Yeah, big wine's not getting to us.
germs don't scare me, chemicals scare me.
Oh my gosh, that is scary.
So don't drink it.
Or just don't drink alcohol at all. How about that, Jimmy?
Some people, isn't it weird how our society, I think our whole culture, the Western culture,
culture.
has been built around, since the Vikings, the Egyptians had beer.
You do it to
the
celebrate.
Europeans.
You do it to cope.
Yep.
You do it at every wedding, every funeral,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like it's institutionalized.
Yeah, and this has been going back for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years since we've been fermenting stuff. So,
You know, you often talk about your worldliness on the show, and I give you a little bit of a hard time, but I think it does lend some perspective. When you were over in Europe, is it like that over there? Is it as institutionalized as it is in the States, drinking?
you can get it from the vending machines.
So more so even.
It's all over, but people seem to handle it better because it's not here. It's taboo. We raise our kids. You don't drink. It's bad for you. You want to wait to a certain age, and then they have a birthday party, and it's like game on. Okay, kids, you be careful out
We
there.
got props now.
Yeah, we got wine props up here.
What
But
kind
that's-
is this one?
So I think in Europe
That's great.
They
A
drink
cab.
as much as they do here. They just drink. They approach it differently. They sip the shots. They don't slam the shots. They enjoy it. It's part of what they do. They have it for lunch over there in Germany. You see all the business guys dressed, look as handsome as Paul,
Oh, come on.
all over the place, and they're having their sandwiches or whatever. And they have a big thing of beer, and that's what they do. So, but in America, I think we tend to, what's that called? Binge drink a little bit too much.
Yeah.
We overindulge too
It's
quickly.
funny, when I was in South Korea for a month for the Olympics last year, I noticed that the alcohol is fairly pervasive in their culture too. Like, and it's a lot cheaper to get stuff that'll mess you up. And so, like, I was under the impression that a lot of working class people were at least under the influence a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think
Even
you might
in
be right.
daylight hours. You know,
might be
like,
right about that.
once the workday is done, that $1 bottle of sake or rice beer or rice wine where the alcohol content is way jacked up, it's just everywhere. Like, it's like, oh, here's this bottle of sake at your dinner table. If you drink that, you're going home in a casket. You know what I mean? Like, you got to nurse yourself.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
be careful because I think it's people know how to handle it better a little bit. So maybe the American tourist coming in is like, oh, hey, a free bottle. Careful, big fella.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And like I said, you've traveled around. How was it in Brazil? Were you in Brazil?
Yeah, so Brazil, we had a very limited selection. So when I was in Rio, it was, for those of you who don't know much about Rio, there's a very stark contrast between the haves and have-nots. So if you're going out in Rio, you better know where the heck you're going, or else you could end up in a pretty shady situation. It's kind of like what happened to the American swimmer who got in a little bit of trouble off the grid, Ryan Lochte. So we didn't go out a ton, and so I wasn't exposed to a lot of like the party culture in Brazil. But where I was, they had such a very limited access to beer. Like, it was like a couple like European beers, and that's it. It's funny. Story time, real fast. So the first night we were there in Rio, when I covered the 2016 Summer Games, we got settled in our media quarters, and they had a little like convenience shop where you could buy the essentials: your toenail clippers, your shampoos, some beer for your room should you choose to imbibe after hours. They had one variety of beer. It was called Skol, S-K-O-L, Skol.
Swedish?
Right. It's like in the Icelandic region, at least. I forget who made it. But it was like the only beer they had in Brazil at this place.
Interesting.
So we bought like a 6-pack of it. It's awful. It tastes like watered down Miller Lite. And so the next day we go back to get more for the room because there's 3 or 4 guys staying in every room. And they were completely sold out at the convenience store. And we were like, what? This is like day 2 of the Olympics. How are you sold out of beer? They said the contingent from China, the CCTV crew for the Chinese Central Television, came in that night and bought every beer in the store for their rooms. They brought luggage racks and hauled off every single beer
Really?
to stock their rooms up. And they're like, it's going to be 2 or 3 more days till we get more beer in.
Wow.
So, talk about party cultures overseas. It was like, oh, okay, that's the way this is going to go.
Yeah, you know, I had a chance when I went to Scandinavia. A lot of the kids, they make their own alcohol because it's so expensive up there. I went to a regular bar. It was almost like an Applebee's. I went in there when I first got into Oslo. I sit up, order a regular bar, ready to pay for it, and basically it came out to $18 for a beer. A
Yikes.
beer.
Yeah.
You don't hear about a lot of people going to Norway. I never say, hey, you got to go to Norway. It is so expensive. It's an oil-rich country. And so the cost of living is like crazy up there. And it was nuts. And I found a lot of people that make their own, these big old soda bottles that are emptied out, and they make their own wine and stuff, a lot of the kids.
Wow.
Because it's so expensive up there.
Googling prohibition tricks.
I'm like,
some
don't
stuff
be
in the
telling this
bathtub.
stuff. We're going to go back to our comments. Missy said, this is easy. Compare boxed wine to McDonald's, and bottled wine can be dinner in Tuscany if it's old enough. So she's saying boxed wine is like eating McDonald's.
Hey, let's squeeze some fresh squeezed juice in real
Yeah,
quick,
we're
just
going to
because I love the topic.
talking
Please do.
about drinks this morning.
Yeah.
This is a different type of drink, though. The Shamrock Shake is back.
Woo!
McDonald's is bringing back its popular minty shake ahead of St. Patrick's Day. It's made with vanilla ice cream, minty syrup, and whipped cream. It's available through March 24th. Wow.
Hey,
Did you have one the other day?
No, I haven't. I have not
Somebody
had one
else
in a couple of
posted
years.
on my social media the day that they had one.
I got a story.
What?
I got another story. Roll it. Roll it.
Is it going to be about this Shamrock Shake?
It is. It really is.
Excuse me.
It goes back. This is a memory of my brother. God rest his soul. You okay?
Sneezing, sorry.
All right, let it out. When he was in high school, he was kind of the punky kid. He drove a little VW Bug, and
Yeah.
there was the cool dude, the cool, tough jock that had the really hot Camaro. He was driving through the parking lot. I don't know. He just had this crazy, he threw the shake at the car because he knew the guy was in football practice. And it's already getting dark, and he hits this Shamrock Shake, and it hits the front windshield, and it splatters all over the place, and he's just laughing his head off, him and his buddy. And as they're getting out of the parking lot, they see the lights pop on.
Oh,
the
he was
guy
in the
was
car?
in the car, and the chase was on. And he said he had to run like 3-4 red lights to get away from the guy, and he couldn't drive his car to school for 3 months because this guy was walking around the parking lot
Looking for him.
that blue bug.
Oh my God.
That's a Shamrock Shake.
If you get a Shamrock Shake, don't chuck it at
Don't
anybody.
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah, drink it, enjoy it.
Also know that the large has 820 calories.
I was going to say with all its calories.
So maybe replace a meal with it.
Well, share it. Share it.
Maybe just take a sip of it and then get rid of
right.
it.
So wine, tuna fish, Shamrock Shakes. That's our food pyramid today.
Yeah.
Doesn't say much about us.
That's not a great start to a Monday.
It's not. I hope yours is a little better. Hope you get a great deal on a mattress out there. Go see our boy trying to shill mattresses in the comment section. I'm sure he'll hook you up. We'll see you at 7:30 for the after show tomorrow. Be good, people.